Last pennant. Unplug the sewing machine, plug the iron in, get ready for the next stage. Hello everybody, welcome back to the cottage by the sea, where I'm doing a bit of making on a really quite a chilly, grey, damp day. It doesn't look that grey, I know we're shooting into the light, but it's a grey, damp day. Let's get ready to make some bunting. A proper hello to you. I'm just going to turn these last three so they're made inside out, as you can imagine. I hope I've made enough. And then to get my point, I've got an old crochet hook which actually snapped, but it's got a sort of blunt-ish end, just to turn them the right way. And I'm making this bunting today. Gosh, I haven't sewn for ages. I haven't actually done any sewing since I made the little patchwork curtain for my scullery area. The iron is on. So it's it's over a year since I've had the machine out. Feels nice. Hopefully I can get, I don't know. No, I've got lots and lots of other things to do before I can properly get back to sewing. But anyway, I'm making this bunting today for my lovely friend Kate as a housewarming present. It's actually going to go on her summer house, the place she's bought. So she moved right at the end of February, so almost a year after me. And I really love how it came about. I mean, she'd been thinking of moving anyway, but after the weekend down here with me here in the summer, she's like, what am I waiting for? I should just get on with it and just do it, having seen just how deliriously happy I was for having done my move. And she literally went home, put her place on the market, found her new place and bought it, and she's moved. So the place she's bought, it's in Frome in Somerset. I went to visit on the bank holiday weekend at the beginning of May. Amazingly, the forecast had said it was going to rain the whole time, but amazingly the sun came out and it stayed out. I think we had 2 spots of rain at one point, but it was gorgeous, really, really sunny weather. I caught a bit of colour. And obviously I arrived, look at her new place first of all, gorgeous cottage, 1750 it was built. So she's got a beautiful inglenook fire in the front room. It's been extended at the back, so she's got a lovely big sort of kitchen, eat-in kitchen dining area, and a garden. Now, of course, moving in at the end of February, she didn't know what was going to come up, so it was lovely to walk around the garden with her as things are starting to come up. So there's some nice mature shrubs there. She's going to build 4 raised beds, as in quite deep raised beds, and do them as hugelkultur. So put big stuff in the bottom, you know, twiggy bits, branchy bits, what have you, and build it up, and then eventually compost on the top. So actually, while we were there, I think it was the Sunday afternoon, we just sat in the garden, and Kate's got loads and loads of pots from her previous garden, but some of the plants were the worse for wear. They pretty much died anyway, so pulled these big plants out and snipped, just as I've done here with the secateurs, snip, 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 in the afternoon sunshine, as we chatted, snip, 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 save all that material to go into those raised beds. But not only that, also right at the end of the garden, she's got a summer house, so lovely, with electricity, yay! So we took the measurements from it, and that's what I'm going to make the bunting for, so it'll go on the front of her summer house. Using the colours inspired by the garden, so there's lots of sort of the greens and the purples and blues. It's the kind of, the herb bed colours. But yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic weekend. Obviously a delight to see her. Wonderful to see the new cottage. It's so gorgeous. It's so perfect for her. All her furniture looks like it was bought for that place. It wasn't. And Frome town itself, the town, it's gorgeous. I've never been before. I had no idea how lovely it was. I mean, it was kind of on my radar when I was looking. Oh, I need my hanky, excuse me. It was slightly on my radar when I was looking back in 2022 and my sister was sending me property details every weekend. She did send me a lot for around sort of Castle Carey and Frome. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a sort of it was the architecture that I really love, and it's sort of from about 1700 to 1850, most of it. A lot of the town centre is sort of alleys, cobbled streets, pedestrian. It's quite hilly. Beautiful stone it's built from. It's much more like being in the Cotswolds than Purbeck stone. Purbeck stone's very grey as it ages, whereas the stone there is a lovely warm honey colour. It kind of made me think of the Chilterns, but not so, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, not so prissy, not so obviously touristy perfect. It's got a kind of, there's a slight roughness around the edges. It feels more real, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get at. And the Sunday that I was there, so I arrived on the Saturday, but on the Sunday, I have to remember this, and I did make a note, the first Sunday of the month, they have an independent makers and flea market. So the whole town gets taken over, the streets as well as the actual shops and the marketplace, with all sorts of crafters, all different types. There's lots of ceramics there, and potters ceramics. I mean, just every imaginable craft. And then as you drop down the hill and get to, I think it's maybe a car park normally, it's a huge flea market. Loved it. I bought something, I'll show you. So Frome town centre itself, it's just wonderful. It's a great place to go and have a mooch and a poke around. We went down quite early on the Sunday. We were probably down there for about 10 o'clock, and by about lunchtime it was really busy. So yeah, it's worth getting there early. And because it was such a beautiful day, we stopped at one point for my knees and just sat and had a coffee in the sunshine. Glorious. Later on, stopped for lunch. There's a lovely place, can't remember the name of it. If you stumble upon it, or if you ask anyone, they'll know what you mean if you describe it as this. It's a bakery, but it's in an old church. It looked quite like a Methodist church. It's in an old church, so it's huge. Sort of tables, seating, so they do their baking, but they also do lunch. Not a huge range in terms of for the lunch. There's maybe 5 or 6 different things, but really beautiful food, with a little bit of a garden outside too. So for lunch I think it was just called a vegetable roll. It was only about this big, about that round. Looked like a sausage roll, except it wasn't sausage, it was vegetables. And it was gorgeous. It was so good and really filling. That more than did me for lunch. It was lovely. So that was wonderful. But in the flea market, I need to get pressing these pennants in a second. In the flea market I got about 1 metre of it. This gorgeous fabric. Let me bring it closer. Isn't that gorgeous? I reckon it's 1940s, maybe just into the 50s. It's in really good condition. I haven't had a chance to wash or press it yet, but gorgeous. Don't know what I'm going to make from it yet either. It's quite special. I think I need to make something special from it. Anyway, I was very good. There were lots and lots of things that I would have loved to have bought. I mean, I could have just bought everything. Everything was beautiful, but I was mindful with my money. Right, let's get pressing this bit, because I just also want to talk about the train on the way down, because it's such a lovely route. Right, let's go and get pressing. Gosh, I'm struggling for any bit of light today. Who'd have thought it? We're halfway through May. It's gone so chilly and dark. Yeah, so while I'm just finishing these last ones off, the train journey is absolutely gorgeous. If you've never visited the West Country, hang on, I need my scissors. I've just seen the thread that I didn't snip. Yeah, if you've never visited the West Country, what are you waiting for? So I travelled on the train from Wareham, which is the gateway to Purbeck, and from Wareham I travelled sort of east southeast down to Weymouth, and then from Weymouth going northeast, southwest to Weymouth, northeast back up into Somerset. So I had my lovely bit of Dorset on the train and then into Somerset. And Somerset's so pretty, or at least the part where I was. It's very sort of gentle and rolling. But what was really gorgeous, because it was that first weekend of May, it was like the countryside had thrown nature a wedding. It was just so beautiful. The perfect celebration of Beltane. The hedgerows, the trees, the hedgerows were bursting with the blackthorn, the hawthorn, the sweet chestnuts, the elders, all bursting with flowers, all this white froth, and of course in all the sort of verges and ditches the cow parsley had come up, was absolutely going mad, and the last of the ransoms. So everywhere I looked there's this beautiful, that lovely vibrant green of spring, the first fresh unfurled leaves, along with this mass, just this absolute abundance of white confetti in the form of all the different flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. So how long did it take? It was about 3 hours altogether. I had a book with me, but I didn't look at my book once. I spent the whole time looking out of the train windows because it's so pretty. And just before I got to Frome, I'm just going to start measuring out some. I've got the webbing to stitch it into. I use a really sturdy webbing for my bunting because if it's outside I want it to withstand, I'll show it to you, I want it to withstand the winds and the gales we can get in the UK. So you can see it's really thick and sturdy, and the bunting will actually, I'll pin it to the bottom, then I've got it tucked under my chin, which is why I'm talking funny, then it folds over and stitches down and it holds the pennants in. Lost my train. Oh yes, so on the train, just before I came into Frome, so I made a note on the way home that it was between Bruton and Frome. So if you were travelling north to Frome or northeast to Frome, the most fantastic rookery. I haven't seen such a brilliant rookery in a long time. Because it's still quite early in the year, yes, there are lots of trees and their leaves are just coming, but we can still really see through a lot of the leaves, a lot of the branch, there aren't enough leaves to occlude what's going on inside the trees. So this rookery must have taken up 15 trees or so, and each tree must have had 4 or 5 nests, and they do make me laugh actually, because they're right in the tops of the trees. I can't quite gauge the size, but they're like these big round clumps of a mass of twigs in the top of the tree. They look a bit unwieldy. And that's the rook's nests. Nest after nest after nest, and of course, tons and tons of rooks too. It just made me so happy. I don't know why, it made me so happy to see it. It was gorgeous. And I mentioned it to Kate when I got there. I was like, oh my goodness, the most fantastic rookery. So what was lovely then when we were in Frome on the craft market day, she found a lovely ceramic. I've got one hair that keeps escaping and it's tickling my nose. A little ceramic dish, but the most beautiful vibrant yellow, quite a mustard yellow, not an acid yellow, a mustard yellow, with a crow, not a rook, a crow. She spotted it. Actually, we both said it was gorgeous. That's 2. And so she purchased it as her new soap dish because she's decided in this home she doesn't need for much. She's got most of what she needs. Obviously, she's same age as me. She's been around a while and has collected a few possessions over her lifetime. But yeah, she's decided that anything that she needs new on top of what she already has, she's going to try to find things either second-hand or buy from a craftsperson, buy direct from a maker. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. She's a girl after my own heart. Right, that's 4 metres. I want to just double check my measurements because I think I'm going to do 4 metres 25, but I'm going to just double check this off camera in a second. Yeah, so finding that dish. So initially she spotted the blackbird dish, and then I saw the one with the crow. I said, "Oh, it's a crow, like the rook." And she's like, "I'm going to have it. I'm going to have the one with the crow because it will remind me of you seeing the rookery on your way to see me for the first time in my new home." It was lovely. And also, whilst we were pootling about, looking for bits and bobs, she's sort of got a list of things she wants to keep an eye out for. We were in the flea market-ish bit, and I don't know why I said ish, it's a flea market antiques. We were in one place and I spied under a pile of other stuff a little garden bench. Not too wide, nowhere near as big as mine, because at the end of the garden there's an arbour with, I think it's got honeysuckle and, what was on the other side? Was it a clematis? But it's a shady spot in the garden which would be lovely if she's doing work out there on a really hot day. It's somewhere to go and sit in the shade. So before we'd gone out to the market, she'd done a few measurements, what's the width there, and a chair for here, what's the width, and that sort of thing. Anyway, so under this pile of stuff, I spotted a garden bench, really cute, sort of like a Lutyens style bench. I said, Kate, come over here. Start getting that stuff off, get it off, get all the other stuff off it. There it is. That's your perfect bench. So we pulled it out a bit, both had a sit on it, and Kate was sort of humming and hawing. It's like, there's no pressure to buy, just bear in mind, if you don't buy this today, you might not see another one for 5 years. That's the thing about found objects, that having a home that's made up of found objects, the objet trouvé home. Anyway, she bought it. They couldn't deliver it that weekend because the van was broken, so they delivered it a few days later, and then Kate sent me a photograph of it in the little arbour, and it's so perfect, so perfect. So she's going to make a cushion for it, probably in a ticking fabric, because she knows I love ticking. She said, "I'll do ticking in your honour." Brilliant. Right, let me concentrate on this for a second, and then, because there's a couple of other things. Food and a recipe book I've got on the sofa. Let's go back to the sofa for a second. You can probably tell that I highly recommend Frome for a visit for a weekend if you can. And if you can time it for the first weekend in the month, you'll get the first Sunday in the month, you'll get that independent makers / craft and flea market. Brilliant. What else? And also on the Monday we took a lovely walk. Bearing in mind, I can't go too far and I have to go nice and easy, nice and steady, but there's, I've forgotten what the name of the river is. I've forgotten. But walked back through the town and there's a river. Sorry, I can't remember what it's called. So walking alongside the river, initially you're walking past, there are homes on the left-hand side, and again, beautiful architecture. Beautiful front gardens, lots of wisteria. There was one garden in particular that we were both enamoured of. Felt a little bit, not overgrown, but just sort of slightly less manicured than others. It was really stuffed full of beautiful plants. So gorgeous buildings and the river to one side, and then it opens out into the water meadows. Just ambling quietly. And I'd introduced Kate to that app, Merlin. So, I mean, I've never used it myself. I don't have a smartphone, but Richard and Paul have it. It's great. So I said, oh, have you got the Merlin app? No. Put it on. So she put it on and she's like, oh, this is brilliant. So walking through the water meadows with the Merlin app. Oh, that's such and such a bird. Oh, that's another bird. Just so lovely, peaceful, chilled, gorgeous. We had, oh, and one more. I'll keep remembering things. There was one building quite close to where she lives that's a little bit out of character with the rest of the town because, like I said, it's very, from what I understand of the history of the town, it was quite industrial sort of in the 18th century, I think around weaving. So you've got this lovely mix of industrial and cottage. And by industrial, don't imagine modern industry like out of town retail parks, graffiti, that sort of thing. Not that at all. Everything is soft because it's imbued with that beautiful honey colour that's just bouncing off the stones all the time. But there's one building which seemed quite incongruous with others because firstly because it was quite tall, I think it was 3 or 4 stories, but also built in the Romanesque style, really odd. I was saying to, I said, do you know what that is, Kate? She didn't know. She said, okay, we'll look it up when we get home. But we were speculating and I was saying it almost looks like a mill, but the windows seem too small because mills generally have big windows to let the light in for the weavers. And this before I knew about the weaving in the town. It looked like a mill. I said, it also looks a bit institutionalised. It looks like, as it would be called in the old days, an asylum. I don't know, some sort of hospital. Anyway, it turned out it was the old print works, established, I think 1850, something like that. Those Victorians in there, oh, let's go Romanesque. So it was established in 1850, but what I really loved is it was at that print works that the first ever Penguin paperback was published. I think we're all familiar with, in particular, the orange Penguin paperbacks, with the orange cream, orange stripe. The first one was actually a blue one, blue cream, blue stripe. So yeah, the just down the road from our Kate is where the first ever Penguin paperback was published, and that makes perfect sense. There's lots of P's today. That's perfectly lovely for another bookworm because Kate loves her books too. Now, speaking of books, I borrowed this one from the library because we had really lovely food while I was down there. We had, on the day I arrived for lunch, a sort of pasta bake. In the evening, a lentil dal, which is from this book, which was gorgeous. The next day we had lunch out. I had my veg roll. But that evening, oh my goodness. Oh, the pair of us were making noises as we were eating. So my kind of food. We had a sort of, a chickpea gratin. Oh, but goodness me. So I've shown you mine before now. I did a video a few months ago. And my chickpea gratin is chickpeas, loads and loads of red onion, spinach, and then creme fraiche to make the content. And the creme fraiche makes it all creamy and unctuous. And it's very simply topped with a mix of breadcrumbs and parmesan. So that goes a bit crispy but cheesy in the oven. Lovely. So the one Kate did was chickpea again and spinach, tomatoes rather than, there's no creme fraiche, but the topping, it was almost like a cottage pie, but the topping, be still my beating heart, sweet potato mashed mixed with blue cheese. And if you're a blue cheese fan, oh my giddy goodness. If you're not a blue cheese fan, you could do it with the regular cheese. I'm going to make the recipe, I think, probably next weekend to share with you because it was so good. You get that lovely nutty, bitey fillingness of the chickpeas. And then any kind of mash is a comfort food, isn't it? But sweet potato mash, but with the blue cheese through it, oh my goodness. There were no leftovers. I think it serves 4. And the recipe came from this book, Dale Pinnock, the medicinal chef. I'd sort of vaguely heard of him before, and I just looked it up before turning the camera on. It doesn't really do it justice in here, but it's chickpea and sweet potato beta bake, or beta bake. I'm not sure why it's called that, but it really doesn't do it justice. So I'm going to cook it and share it with you. But yeah, sweet potatoes, garlic, onions, spinach, chickpeas, tomato paste is the filling. Sorry, the sweet potatoes, and the Danish blue cheese are on the top. So it's really simple ingredients. He says, this recipe is one of my winter favourites. Well, it feels like winter again at the moment, frankly. Not that I need an excuse to eat this. It's so satisfying on many levels. It's packed with all manner of phytonutrients, beta-carotene, quercetin, inulin, sulfur, phytoestrogens, zinc, you name it. So yeah, I've borrowed this from my library. I've got it until just into June, so I'm definitely going to make that one with you, and I'll have a look through at some of the others. But yeah, the subtitle of the book is Eat Your Way to Better Health. Eating that gratin though, that chickpea sweet potato, it doesn't feel healthy because it's so yummy and moreish and unctuous and it tastes really indulgent. It doesn't taste like it, you know, like it's a health thing. Put it this way, it's not a bowl of lettuce. It's not rabbit food. Gorgeous. So thank you to Kate for having that on her shelf and cooking from it whilst I was there, because yeah, I'm going to enjoy looking through this, and certainly that chickpea is going to be made. The lentil dal was really lovely. I don't know whether I'd do it again though, because it had coconut milk in, and that's one of those, oh, it's a bit of an expensive ingredient, but loved it. I'm just going to turn the iron off. I forgot to turn the iron off. Yeah, don't want to waste any electricity by having the iron on. I realised I've been yapping for a while, so I'm going to wind up soon. One of the other things we did was watch Wuthering Heights, the new version. Now, I hadn't intended to watch it. I'd heard that the ending had been quite changed, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm a bit of a purist. I don't want to watch it then. It came up in conversation in one of our conversations, and Kate had really enjoyed it, and she said, I think it was for the Sunday night, like let's stay in and watch a movie. She said, did I fancy it? No, because of the ending. She said, actually, it's almost not like the book. So if you forget the book, forget you've ever read the book and just watch it as a film, she said, I think you'll enjoy it. I thought, you know what, I'm game for it. Go on, let's do it. I loved it. Oh my goodness, I really loved it. I think if you can set aside the notion of the book, just forget the book entirely for a second, but also if you can forget your ideas about period dramas, and we all see so many these days, don't we, with, I've forgotten what they're called, what was that Gosford Hall one, Bridgerton, and Downton Abbey, that's the one. We get a lot of these period dramas where they, you know, so much attention is paid to the detail to make sure the costumes are perfect, the furniture, the settings, it's all very perfectly curated, almost a museum piece of period accuracy. This new film of Wuthering Heights, nuh-uh. We were about halfway through. I needed a loo break. So when I came back from the loo break, I said to Kate, it's like Wuthering Heights meets the Mad Hatter's Tea Party meets Alice in Wonderland. It's Wuthering Heights meets Alice in Wonderland. And then Kate chipped in, and Tim Burton. It is! So it's still got that kind of gothic quality to it, that sort of high Victorian gothic quality to it. Visually, it is stunning, it's glorious. But like I was saying about that, don't expect the perfect period costumes. Like the initial approach to Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is the house on the moors. That's where Kathy grows up. It's where the Earnshaws live. I was like, what on earth is this? This is weird. You wouldn't see this in North Yorkshire. What are you doing, lass? So once I got over that initial shock of this is not what I expected, then set that aside and just enjoy the romp. The set colour is really important in the film, I feel. It's quite dark and moody, but then there are pops of colour throughout that. So red is one of these recurring colours that's really important, and it's stunning on screen how they use red. Her costumes are amazing, and like I said, if you want period costumes, one of her costumes is made from plastic, I think. It's like bubble wrap or something, but again, just beautifully imagined. The whole cast, I mean, what a stunning cast. Both Margot Robbie and Elodie, I can't remember the actor's name who plays Heathcliff. Elodie, is it? They have such magnetism on screen. It's hard to take one's eyes off them. But also the two young actors who play the young Kathy and Heathcliff. Again, both of them just stunning. I was transfixed watching it. It's brilliant. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But just don't expect what you might be used to on, you know, your sort of Sunday evening period drama viewing on telly, because it ain't. The first time we meet Mr. Linton, the new neighbour, and his ward, perfect sort of Alice in Wonderland moment, because as I was mentioning about the colour, we've gone from these really dark, gloomy, foreboding scenes, dark light, dark colours, what have you, and then suddenly we're in their garden and it's bright green, and yes, one would expect the Mad Hatter to pop out from behind one of the hedges. It's brilliant. Loved it. So yes, what a wonderful time was had. I tripped over and broke my finger while I was there. That's healing okay now. You know, it was literally about a week after I dislocated my toe, fall over, break my finger. I don't know what you're going to do. Can't do anything about it. It's fine. But yeah, it was an absolute treat to see her so happy in her new home. I am absolutely just over the moon for her, because I could see in her what I was feeling in myself this time last year after I'd moved and got the stressy bit out of the way, landed, and boy oh boy has she landed on her feet in a gorgeous home, in a gorgeous town, in the middle of gorgeous countryside, in the same way that I've arrived in my gorgeous home, in my gorgeous town, in my gorgeous setting. So yeah, I think for the pair of us, it just feels like this wonderful, wonderful new chapter for us both, and the fact that she's having it too. I'm going to get emotional. I'm just really pleased for her. She deserves every minute of happiness that she gets, and yeah, she's getting it there. So I better wind up. Oh my goodness, I better wind up and get on with making this housewarming gift for her, so that the next time I visit, there'll be some Vivi Bunting in Kate's garden. Love that, along with the Vivi bench and the Vivi soap bowl. When she next comes here, I think we need to go scouting together for her to find something for me to get for my home, so I'll have a Kate something here. I've got lots of Kate here anyway. Anyway, I'm now waffling. I will see you all again really soon. Oh, actually, in the next one, it will be a bit more to do with me and my home, and some homemaking, a little bit more homemaking, a bit more nesting in Swanage. All right, lovelies, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you very soon for that next one. Until then, please look after yourselves. Happy homemaking if you just moved. I know quite a few of you have moved within the last year or so as well, so you're probably still at that stage of, oh, it's the weekend, let's make some curtains, or oh, I've got that scrap, I've got that bag of scraps, let's make a cushion for the new sofa, or whatever it is. Whatever you're up to, enjoy it, make the most of it. Until the next one, Cheerio, lovelies. A quick PS, because I thought you'd probably want to see how it's going. Because it's so long, for now I'm just laying it out on the floor to make sure I'm happy with spacing. It's a long one. It's a long one. It's all the way, all the way, all the way. So yeah, I know I've got enough pennants. They're not perfectly spaced at the moment. I'll do that and all the pinning. So now what will happen is I need to leave a bit more at the end for tying. But basically what will happen is once they're spaced perfectly, then the top comes over and gets sewn down, obviously with no scratchy edges. That gets sewn over and it holds them in place. And of course they're double-sided. So yeah, nice mix of fabrics. This is one of my favourite ones. Where is it? This one. I love that one. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is a suitable housewarming present, and that it will be a happy addition to Kate's summer house this year and for years to come. Right, and with that, I really am off. I need to get pinning and sewing. Toodle pips, everybody.